In today's video, I'll share my hands-on experience with the Sony 16-35mm f2.8 GM2 lens. A lens that now becomes their 74th E-mount lens and the smallest and lightest in its class. I used it for a few weeks, taking it with me to Puerto Rico, as well as taking some photos in downtown Orlando. I'll share those photos and my experience with the lens, but before we do that, let me tell you about the lens itself. On the outside, the 16-35mm GM2 has an aperture ring that could be declicked, an iris lock switch to prevent the aperture ring from moving out of the A position, two customizable focus hold buttons that can be customized in your camera menus, and a focus mode switch. The lens itself is compact and light, weighing only 19.3 ounces. It's also dust and moisture resistant. You'll notice that as you move from 16 to 35 millimeters, the lens itself doesn't extend out very far. Because of that, the center of gravity barely changes, which makes this an awesome lens to use for video on a gimbal. Around the front element, you'll find an 82mm filter thread, which allows you to use screw-on filters like variable NDs and circular polarizers. That front element itself has a fluorine coating that repels things like oil and water, which might happen if you take this lens with you for the types of photography that it's popular for. With the basics out of the way, let's talk about what's inside the lens. To minimize chromatic aberrations, it has one aspherical element, three extreme aspherical elements, one extra low aspherical dispersion element, two extra low dispersion elements, and one super extra low dispersion element. In total, there are 15 elements in 12 groups, along with 4 extreme dynamic linear motors, which provide fast, accurate, and smooth autofocus, and silent zooming when you're shooting video. The lens has a minimum focusing distance of 0.22 meters, which is 8.7 inches across the entire zoom range with autofocus, which allows you to get up close to objects and take some interesting photos. For example, this photo was one I took standing close enough to the swan that I could reach out and touch it. It's a feature of this lens that I think will lead to some interesting compositions in the future. Like I mentioned earlier, I had a few weeks to test out this lens and kind of get a feel for it, and I'm happy to say that it's sharp from corner to corner, it focuses fast and accurately, and I believe it's going to be a great option for wedding and landscape photographers, or anyone who needs a versatile wide-angle lens. Here's some of the photos that I took on my trip to Puerto Rico and some other shots that I took around Orlando, Florida. Having taken this lens on hikes to take some of these images, I gotta say that the lightweight and compact size of this lens really inspired me to take it with me on my adventures. The image quality was amazing as well, paired up with the Sony α7R5 for both stills and video. All in all, if you're looking for top-tier image quality and performance, this is a lens that you definitely have to try out. Pricing and availability will be in the description of this video, so be sure to check that out. And in case you missed it, there were 2 new cameras added to the α7C lineup that you'll definitely want to check out. I'll add those videos here on screen for you to check out, and I'll see you there.